Today, we are going to be diving into the next surprise that life has in store for you. So if you want to know what you can look forward to, then stick around for these messages. We have 3 piles in today's reading and they go as such. This card represents pile number 1. This card represents pile number 2. And this card represents pile number 3. If you already know exactly which pile is calling out to you, then you can go into the description box down below, click on the timestamp that you need and jump straight to your reading. But if you need some suggestions on how to go about choosing the right pile for you, what I would recommend is first, try and get yourself as grounded and present in this moment as you possibly can. Try and tune out any distractions. Get yourself to a quiet place if you can. You can also close your eyes for a few seconds, take a few deep breaths, really get connected with your body. And when you open your eyes again and look at these piles, what do you see? What is it that you are drawn to? Is there something that you feel when you look at a specific pile? Maybe you hear something, maybe there is a sensation. Whatever way your intuition speaks to you, trust that inner nudge and follow it. But as I also always say, please don't forget that this is a general reading. So please use your discernment as you are listening to them. But having said all of that, let's get straight to it. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 1. My name is Helen and I am so thrilled that you are here watching this reading. I want to thank you for spending your time with me first and foremost, but also for any support that you have shown me and this channel. I truly appreciate it. And I'm so glad that this little community is growing. But let's get straight to the reading because that is why you are here. So you chose this Queen Bee card and we do have some pre-prepared oracle cards and I'm going to look at those in just a bit. I want to first see what I'm picking up on from this card intuitively. I get this sense as I'm looking at this image that you may have been required to step up in some regard in your life recently, where you have had to take on either more responsibility, more tasks, or more commitments. Maybe you were just having to be a bit more busy at this time. Maybe you have had to start multitasking or sort of juggling things in order for everything to stay afloat, everything to keep working. It does seem like there is some sort of leveling up or maybe even a position of authority that you have been put in or that you have volunteered for. I do feel that some of you have definitely been working very hard to reach this point. You have been proving yourself tirelessly. You have been putting in a lot of effort, a lot of your time, a lot of your knowledge and insight so that people would see you and recognize you as someone who is capable and able enough to take on more responsibility, to take on more tasks. But others of you, I do feel that this has been almost pushed on you, like life has made its own corrections and now there is just more that is required of you. And I do feel that even though for some of you it may be a bit uncomfortable or you may be a bit doubtful or maybe worried and stressed at times whether you are up to the task, I do feel that you actually are, and that is why this position has been pushed on you. Because it's almost like life wants you to prove to yourself how much you have actually grown, how much you have developed, just how ready you are to take on more now. You know, it's like you have been pushed out of your comfort zone for sure, for some of you. Maybe some of you have even been forced to face some fears. I do feel that. Maybe that's more of a specific message, but it almost seems like whatever it is that you are doing now, or however this new role or these new responsibilities are manifesting for you specifically, some of you have been truly afraid to step into that position, or maybe you have even been trying to avoid that position for whatever reason, for whatever those fears are specifically. And I do also feel that some of you are simply like in a very magnetic sort of energy right now. So regardless of whether this is something that you have worked for or whether this is something that life has almost pushed you into, your energy seems to be a super magnetic and attractive one right now. I keep looking at the sort of the upper layer of what this lady is wearing, and it's like she's covered in butterflies or moths, or I don't know what they are exactly, but anyway, she's like covered by them. And so it does seem like you are pulling in a lot of attention right now. Maybe people are recognizing some sort of new traits in you, or they are seeing you in a different light. And it's like, as you are able to prove yourself to yourself, it feels like other people are also paying attention. Other people are also seeing you and respecting you because of it. Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like this new role suits you very well. And even if you don't feel that comfortable or confident all the time in it, it feels like you are actually doing really, really well. That's kind of what I feel intuitively with this card. But as I said, this is just the intuitive part. And if you are still not sold on this reading being yours, then stick around for the oracle card messages, because these are going to paint us a picture of what it is that you are most focused on right now. So hopefully as you listen to these messages, you will be able to recognize yourself. Okay, so we have some intuitive cards. We have Beaver, Your Tribe, Your Vibe, Octopus, and another intuitive card. Okay, pile number 1. I want to start off with these two intuitive cards first, because there is such a stark contrast between them, but at the same time they form this beautiful process, or this cycle. So the first card here is very much an energy of springtime. It's an energy of new beginnings, things dawning, things starting to bloom and sprout and come to life, whereas this other card of the Cemetery is very much an energy of, you know, wintertime, or when things are starting to die or things are starting to leave our lives. In essence, it does seem like you are very much focusing on turning over a new leaf of some kind and possibly rearranging some things in your life, or doing this clean sweep, you know, getting rid of things that are sort of past overdue, or that you just don't resonate with anymore. And there is something about resonating. It does seem like this new role that you are in right now has some sort of wider influence on your life, where as you are leveling up in your energy, you seem to also start noticing certain mismatches in your life more easily. Again, with this springtime energy, this further confirms that you are stepping into some sort of new energy here. And it does seem to be on a bigger scale. I see you making these changes or embracing some sort of new motto or new beliefs or new viewpoint, new mindset about something. There is something that you are trying to welcome into your life. And because of it, obviously, some of these things have to go that you don't want to bring with you into this new energy or this new space that you are creating. And again, there seems to be something that you are starting to notice as not really matching your energy anymore. And I do want to jump ahead to this octopus card here too, because it does, first off, give me the energy of you multitasking, right? Like having a lot of these different things in the air or juggling different things. But also, there is something very invasive about this energy. And next to this Cemetery card, it feels like there are possibly certain people, but it may go beyond that, where you are getting rid of things that are too intense or too clingy, I want to say. Again, possibly too much up in your business or restrictive in some sense. I'm looking at this octopus and I just feel constricted or closed in. Like there is something suffocating about this octopus. Again, it may be a certain person or a group of people or simply a circumstance or a place, and you sort of start seeing their negative influence very, very clearly now. And I feel like it's something that maybe sort of has crept up on you, that maybe it wasn't as noticeable at first, but now it feels like with all of this change that you yourself have gone through and are currently going through, you seem to start noticing these things a lot more easily. And it's almost like you cannot avoid them. They are so blatantly obvious. They are so in your face because you seem to be in this sort of energy here. We have the beaver and your tribe, your vibe. You seem to be in this energy where you are definitely creating something. You are building something that has meaning, something that has value, something that you are willing to put in the effort for. So whatever this position is, it seems like it's putting you in a place where you are doing exactly what you were meant to be doing. This is you being in your personal power and fulfilling some sort of potential, bringing that potential to life. And there is a lot of dedication that I feel with this beaver energy. Again, this seems to very, very strongly talk about your energy right now. And with this, your tribe, your vibe, you are clearly trying to bring in the right sort of energies to accompany you. Again, you seem to be attracting the sort of people who are very much resonating with what it is that you are doing and the sort of morale that you have, the motivation that you have, this drive, this passion that you are putting into your work. And you seem to be drawing in like-minded people. And so this seems to just further emphasize this mismatch in this octopus energy, because these two cards, they are so completely different in their energies. One is just supportive and uplifting and positive and optimistic, whereas the other is wanting to draw you down to some sort of lesser level and possibly pull you into certain dramas. Or again, this is just very nosy and gossipy, low vibrational or negative energy that this octopus is exuding right now for some reason. Normally I really like the octopus cards, but in this instance it's really giving me some bad vibes. So yeah, most likely you will recognize what this octopus is. It feels like you are working really hard to, again, distance yourself from it and get rid of it, because you are vibing high in this energy over here. So that is really what I am feeling here, pile number one. Hopefully it made sense to someone. Hopefully you resonated with this. And if that is the case, then stick around for the tarot cards as well, because now we are getting to the fun part. We're going to look at what is this next surprise that life has in store for you. Okay, so we have the 10 of Swords that came out in reverse, the King of Cups, and the 2 of Swords that came out in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 4 of Wands in reverse. I'm going to point out some of the zodiac signs in case you resonate with them, or you recognize them around you. And we have actually air sign energy coming through the heaviest here. We have Gemini with the 10 of Swords and Libra with the 2 of Swords. We also have Scorpio with the King of Cups and Aries with the 4 of Wands. Pile number one, I want to start off with a more specific message that came out the strongest. So if you have a person in your life that you actually regard very highly, that most likely cares a lot about you and is some sort of a support figure, or maybe even a mentor or guide or something like that, who has given you solid advice and who has been there for you when you have been struggling. If there has been a falling out with that person, or life has gotten in the way, or maybe something happened between you two where the relationship has taken a hit or suffered, or maybe you have, grown distant from that person and are now sort of missing them or regretting, wanting to mend fences, so to say, I do feel that there could be an opportunity to do that. With the Ten of Swords in reverse and this King of Cups, it does feel like this King of Cups is the person that you have in mind if this specific scenario resonates with you. And it does feel like some sort of hatchet can be buried here, and it can be overcome. Whatever this thing was in the past that occurred, it does feel like maybe some sort of betrayal, or someone feels like they were betrayed, but it could have just been a very serious row or someone letting someone down or something like that. Regardless of what the exact scenario is, I do feel like there is the potential here to get over that thing, to get over that standstill, because we have this Two of Swords coming out in reverse as well. Again, if things have been stagnant, if they have been unmoving, it feels like that could very well be changing here. But again, that is a very specific sort of message. So more generally, or for others of you, I do feel that this King of Cups could just represent some person coming in, most likely someone that you are pulling in with your energy, that seems to help you in, first off, like closing certain doors that need to be closed. Again, going back to this Ten of Swords card here, it feels like some of these endings that you are making or experiencing, some of them could be quite difficult to handle, or some of them could be quite difficult to accept as well. Maybe you are experiencing backlash because of it, or maybe certain people are trying to prolong this process, or maybe they don't want to accept it, so they are trying to sort of stay as a part of your life. They are trying to, again, delay you from making these changes or making these moves. Maybe they are trying to talk you out of something. Maybe they are simply, giving you some sort of bad advice, or swaying you, almost like, I want to say, manipulating you to do the wrong thing. And maybe they are even planting some sort of fears or negative thoughts in your head, again, in order to kind of keep you where you are. But I do feel with this King of Cups here that whoever this person is, and they don't have to be male, by the way, either. This is simply masculine and assertive and more confident energy that this person seems to portray. And it feels like whoever this person is, that they will help you to go through with the difficult decisions, or to go through with the sort of the cutoffs that need to be made here. Again, they may offer you a lot of support, compassion or kindness, or again, maybe really good advice on how to deal with these situations. We also have this Four of Wands as the underlying energy coming out in reverse. And it does seem to talk about these shaky foundations, or possibly these relationships that have done their time, or that you are not meant to carry forth. Possibly some agreements that have to be broken. Again, this is very heavily leading me towards some sort of relationships that you seem to have outgrown, or maybe some people that you need to draw boundaries with. But it does seem like this King of Cups could very well help you do that. But if you yourself, again, resonate with scorpionic energy, then this King of Cups could very well simply be talking about you, and you coming into this sense of self-empowerment, where you suddenly sort of realize what you have to do more clearly, or you can make peace with some of the more difficult decisions that you have to make. Because again, with the Two of Swords coming out over here, it definitely feels like some of these decisions that you are making are not easy ones to make. And there may be certain doubts or delays that you may have been creating, it's almost giving me a feeling of procrastination, like putting some things off that you know are going to be either difficult conversations or just difficult decisions in general. With the King of Cups though, it feels like there is, again, a sense of knowing, a sense of peace, and a sense of confidence that you are valuing yourself and that you are doing the right thing. And maybe for some of you, this is even done for you, like some of these difficult decisions or cutoffs. Maybe, again, these people that are involved or this person, maybe they themselves do something in order to cut the ties or make it very easy for you to walk away, or again, to draw certain boundaries. So it almost like takes the pressure off of you, is kind of also what I want to say. But anyway, let's look at, why is this surprise coming in for you? What is the purpose of this surprise in your life? Okay. So we have the Four of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. And the underlying energy is the Knight of Cups. So sign-wise, with the Four of Cups, we have Cancer, the Seven of Swords is Aquarius, and the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius, with the Knight of Cups being Pisces. So we have all water signs coming out now, and that may be significant as well. Okay, so this actually feels fairly straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time with these cards. With the Four of Cups and the Seven of Swords, this is talking about an energy of potentially sidestepping certain situations that are not really conducive to your growth, that are just keeping you stuck, or that are bringing some level of dissatisfaction into your life. But with the Seven of Swords, it is a very sneaky sort of energy. It's not something that is in your face. And I do feel like, again, whatever this influence is, whoever these people are or this person is that has been this dragging force in your life or this negative influence in your life, it feels like they have been very sneaky in doing that, or like it hasn't been easy or obvious for you to realize the sort of effect that they are having on your life. It has been this stable but stagnant energy, and most likely because of the Seven of Swords here too, it has forced you to self-sabotage or act against your own best interests in some way. And because it's clearly something that is keeping you, or has been keeping you, in an unhappy or unfulfilled sort of state, maybe even feeling like you can't do something, like there is something helpless about this Four of Cups that I feel, and that seems to be talking about your energy or how you have been feeling. Again, most likely because of these negative influences, that sort of energy has to be broken. And I feel that the Knight of Wands here is the epitome of needing to break free, needing to move on from that sort of energy. They can often represent travel as well, or like long distance movement, because they are so fiery and so driven and so full of fire to bring about change. Because the Knight of Wands does not do well with situations that are stagnant or boring or unmoving. And so that's what I feel like, that's why I feel that this whole thing is happening, because you are meant to be broken out of that state. And the Knight of Cups as the underlying energy here seems to talk about, again, like-minded people. It does seem like this is someone else's energy, because the King of Cups was also coming through as some sort of a support or aid or ally. And this Knight of Cups is clearly an energy of feeling some sort of affinity towards you, or having pure intentions. That is the reason for this change or for this surprise, because you know it's time for you to see what like true alliance or true friendship and true support looks like, and to have more of it in your life, to again get rid of these negative influences here. But yeah, that is what is coming through here, pile number one. Now, this next part, I always have to give a disclaimer because we are going to get into some timing messages now. And this part is meant to be taken with a grain of salt. This is simply for fun. Every single time I look at a potential timing of something, it's just for fun because timing is a very tricky thing and it is most often super inaccurate. So these messages coming out next, they may resonate for some of you, but they may be completely off the mark for others of you. So again, let's just see. Let's see for fun, when might this surprise come in for you? Whoa, okay. Interesting. Okay, interesting. So we have the energy of November coming out. Find happiness in wanting what you already have, gratitude and togetherness. So this is talking about more so the end of the year. And I actually want to incorporate the underlying energy here too, because the underlying energy says December, give and receive to have all the resources you need. Love, family, giving and kindness. So yeah, it could be that you start attracting this soul tribe or soul family sort energy, or these more supportive people or energies around the end of the year. So November and December may be significant months for some of you. But we also have on schedule, unwavering dedication and attention to detail is key. Keep going, steps, take care. So yeah, this just feels like everything is going according to plan and things are moving along as they should. So there we go. Do with this information what you will. But as the last part of the reading, we are almost done. Let's look at some supportive messages from Spirit. So let's see what we get. Okay. Wow, so we have diligence and community. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, diligence is clearly tying back to this energy of you being a busy bee, a busy beaver, working along and working towards your goals, your dreams, doing what you were meant to be doing and stepping into your fullest potential. And community is obviously the group of people that you resonate with, you know, that you feel some sort of common ground with, something that brings a sense of wholeness, brings you a sense of feeling like you belong. And oh my goodness, I just noticed there are also butterflies on this card, right? Like I was drawn to the butterflies on this card first that you chose, and how this lady is like surrounded by these butterflies. She's covered by them. And now we get butterflies here too. So clearly butterflies may be a very significant symbol for you, but I just love that we are getting the message of community. So clearly you are building a true community, or this atmosphere where you do feel like you really fit in, or where you are seen, where you are heard, where you are recognized. And I also love the message of diligence because it feels like you are becoming a lot more discerning about the sort of people that you do associate with, or the sort of energies that you put yourself into, that you spend time in. You start becoming a lot more, again, a lot more scrutinizing regarding that. And as the underlying energy, we have freedom, which I also love for you, because again, it's tying me back to the Knight of Wands energy and talking about you setting yourself free from some really negative energies here. So wow, pile number one. This was quite a reading. I hope that this resonated for someone, or that, you know, it gave something useful to someone. And by the way, if that is you, if you are still here, if you are watching this reading and this spoke to you in some way, leave me a butterfly emoji in the comment section, because obviously that is a very important symbol here. So let me know in the comment section by leaving a little butterfly emoji that you got something from this reading and that you are still here watching this all the way through. Thank you so much if you are, by the way. I truly love seeing you in the comment section, and yeah, it's so cool to see who is here. Yeah, thank you so much. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insight and fun. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading, pile number 2. My name is Helen and I am so thankful that you are here watching this reading and spending your time with me. And yeah, let's get straight to it. So we have some pre-prepared oracle cards, which we are going to look at in just a bit. Because first I want to see what I am picking up on this card intuitively that you chose. We have Under My Umbrella. And pile number 2, the energy that I am picking up on is one of feeling rather overprotective. I feel like you are trying to take care of either someone or something as best as you possibly can. You seem to be very diligent in that. You seem to be putting a lot of yourself into it and taking this very, very seriously. Whether this is an actual person or an actual thing of some kind that you are working on, or whether this is simply an idea or some sort of pipe dream that you have. It may be something completely abstract that you are putting a lot of energy into and that you seem to be wanting to keep safe or wanting to nurture, wanting to, again, protect, most likely from other people's negativity or negative conditions or pessimism or something like that. It feels like you are working very hard to keep this thing pure or untarnished, I almost want to say. Now, maybe this is a very specific message, but for some of you, this definitely seems to be some sort of connection or relationship that you are trying to protect from outside influences. Especially if this is some sort of new relationship that is just starting to form or develop. It could be that you're trying to give it the best conditions to have the opportunity to flourish or grow into something really strong. But regardless of what this thing is that you are protecting, there is some sort of anxiousness or worry that you have that if this thing were to somehow get scrutinized by people or somehow come out into the public, that maybe you would lose some of that affection that you have towards it, or maybe it would change how you feel about this thing as well. So there is something vulnerable that I feel here, that it's so important for you to not allow outside forces to influence this thing because of how fragile it is for you as well, or like how you feel about it is fragile. And I feel like, again, your own confidence in this thing or belief in things working out for the best, there is something fragile about that too. Yeah, so it almost seems like you are being in a bit of a bubble here, like an energetic bubble with yourself and this thing. Again, this dream or this person or this goal or whatever. And yeah, I feel like you're trying your best to prolong this state of being sheltered or being protected from the harshness of, like, again, other people's criticism or reality or having to make difficult decisions or things like that. You seem to want to keep yourself in that protected space as long as possible. So anyway, this is just the intuitive part though. So if you are somewhat iffy about this reading being truly yours, then stay around for the oracle card messages too, because we are going to take a look at what it is that you are most focused on right now. So hopefully as you listen to these messages, it will be a lot easier for you to resonate with this pile. So let's see what we have. I am laughing to myself because of this card, and we will talk about it in a sec, so don't you worry, but it's just funny. We have an intuitive card first. We also have cheetah. We have healthy boundaries, camel, and another intuitive card. Okay, so the reason I was chuckling was because this card is literally the card of secrets, of something that is hidden away, something that is kind of like tucked in a very sacred little corner where you, first off, don't know yourself how things are going to play out, but also it's not that easy for other people to find as well. And so it just feels like the perfect epitome of this energy that was coming through from the intuitive card here. There's not that much else to say about this card. It just seems to talk about you being super focused on this secret path that you are on, or this dream that you have in your mind's eye, keeping that sort of sheltered, giving it that perfect space to grow and flourish and to become something real before you can make it public or share it with people. And obviously with this cheetah energy here too, which is tied to the fire element, this is something that, again, you seem to be super driven by. Cheetahs are like the fastest animals in the world. And so it seems to hint at just how much this thing means to you, like how much this thing is in your sights and how much you are willing to put your own energy into it, to put effort into it. There is this notion of feeling very passionately about this thing, or having a level of excitement that is tied to this thing that you are protecting. But I also feel like this cheetah energy is talking about the fierceness with which you are willing to like fight for this thing, or again to keep it safe, to keep it protected. We also have this healthy boundaries card, and so clearly further confirmation that you are trying to keep this thing separate, and that you are not wanting other people in your business. You don't want other people to get access to whatever this thing is that you are trying to nurture. And I also find it very interesting that this woman has wings on this card. And we also have a bird over here. So it kind of makes me almost want to say that whatever this thing is, it seems to be a part of you, or there's something, it's almost like you and this thing are one, like it's inseparable from you. So if this is some sort of dream or goal that you have, it's clear that it's something that is written in your DNA, I almost want to say. It's something that you are meant to do. But again, if this is some sort of relationship or something like that, and I'm just giving you examples, right? I'm not saying that that's exactly how it has to be for you. But if this is like a relationship thing for you, then it does feel like this person is very similar to you in some sense, or it's like they match your energy so well. Again, yeah, there seems like there's something special about this. And I feel like that's why you are so driven. That's why you are so passionate about making sure that this thing has the best conditions possible to thrive. Now, we also have this camel energy coming through. And the camel energy is one of perseverance and making it through tough times or difficult times, or sort of knowing how to manage the situation with what you have right now. And I do feel like you are almost prepared for like things to hit some sort of obstacle, or things to become more difficult at one point, but it almost seems like you are ready for it, or like you are willing to get into the trenches, so to say, and sort of tough it out if you need to. And so that's really what I'm feeling here, is that you are willing to endure the discomfort. You are willing to put up with the difficulties that may arise. And I also find it, again, I find it so interesting how these cards are situated, because it's like everything is pointed towards this secret garden. All of the focus is on this thing. And yeah, I almost get this like tunnel vision sort energy here. Now, the last card is giving me the feeling of serenity and peace, and possibly like illumination as well. There is some sort of understanding that you have, or like this aha moment that you have gone through, or maybe it was just a very strong feeling that this is the right thing, or that you are meant to be protecting this thing. Like, especially next to the camel card here too. Obviously we have the moon on this card. You feel something different about this situation or this person or this circumstance or thing. You feel a different sort of way about it than you have towards other things in your life before. But again, this last card is also giving me the energy of like again, keeping it sheltered or keeping it out of the limelight, you know, sort of trying to keep it in the shadows until it is ready. And I do feel like there is something about this thing taking time, or you realizing that it's going to take time, and like not necessarily rushing through anything. Even though we have this cheetah energy here, I don't feel that you are speeding things along or that you are trying to get to this thing in a rush. It more so feels like you are very methodical and patient, and like you are willing to allow things to develop organically, like the same way that nature regulates itself. Like that's the sort of energy that I'm getting here. You are willing to allow things to unravel or to develop organically. Anyway, pile number 2, that is what is coming through. Hopefully this made sense to someone out there. And if that is the case, if you recognized yourself in this, then stay tuned, because now we get to the fun part. Let's look at the next positive surprise that life has in store for you. Whoa. Okay. So wow, so many major arcana cards. We have the Chariot, the Death card, the Ten of Wands, and the Star, with the Seven of Swords as the underlying energy. We also have some zodiac signs to go through so that you could resonate with these cards or this reading more easily. We have Cancer coming out with Chariot, Scorpio with the Death card, Aquarius with the Star, and Sagittarius with the Ten of Wands, and more Aquarius with the Seven of Swords. Let's start off with the underlying energy. We have the Seven of Swords coming out, and this is just telling me that this surprise is very heavily tied to this secret that you are keeping at this time, or this personal project, right, that you are protecting. Now, we have 3 major arcana cards coming out over here, which is no small deal, because it seems to talk about the level of importance or magnitude of importance of this thing that we are talking about here. Clearly, this is something that your soul has, again, signed up for. Like the energy that was coming through with this healthy boundaries card, that it's like, it's almost inseparable from you. It's something that you are meant to be doing, or something that you're meant to be experiencing. And now, I do love that we have Chariot over here, because it does seem like this journey that you are on is going to take a very positive turn, or sort of level up in some way. You're going to see signs of this thing working or starting to work, because in essence, the Chariot card is a card of success and triumph. Yes, it requires effort. Yes, it requires willpower and taking action and staying true to the task at hand, but it is going to bring you rewards as well. So that is the guarantee of the Chariot. And I do love that we have it here, because again, it seems to be something that like further encourages you to keep pushing on. Now, we also have this Death card here. And I know that the Death card can be a bit scary, but in this instance, it seems to talk about the massive change that it can bring about in your life. And I do feel like this thing that you are pursuing, you seem to realize that it has the opportunity to really alter your life in a very, very big way. But I also feel like it is something that you are welcoming. So it doesn't seem to be something scary, because again, we have this Chariot that seems to be riding straight towards this Death card. So it's almost like you are actively putting in energy to make this transformation happen. Again, for some sort of like higher good or ultimate vision or alignment or something like that. Now, I also find it interesting that we have this 10 of Wands that is situated between the Death card and the Star card. And so it does seem like all of this hard work that you are putting in is going to pay off. Again, we had a similar message with the Chariot, but now, as we are ending with the Star card, it does feel like you are going to be rewarded for this effort and energy and all of this work that you are putting into it, all of this dedication that you are putting into it. The Star card is saying that things are going to get easier, that things are going to start aligning. I do feel like it's also indicative of you not having to carry the load by yourself, or you being aided in some way. The Star card can mean that the universe or your spirit guides or your higher self or God or whoever you resonate with, spiritually speaking, that these sort of higher divine forces are coming in to help you, where again, it's like the stars are aligning. It's like you see some sort of hope glimmering for things going according to plan, or things working out the way that you have envisioned them. But the Star card is also a card of wish fulfillment. So you are going to get what it is that you want, or you're going to start seeing things moving in that direction. And I also find it very telling that this Death card is next to the 10 of Wands, because it feels like, again, that this heaviness or this tough energy that you're putting into it, or how things may be a bit more challenging at this time, that seems to be coming to an end as well. Like, it's not always going to be this way. It's not always going to be this difficult. So I really love that we get the 10 of Wands sandwiched between these two major arcana cards here, because it just feels like it's talking about a sense of relief and some sort of alleviation. And I just feel like it's all going to be worth it in the end. Like, that's what I want to say. So let's look at, why is this surprise coming in? What is the purpose of this surprise in your life? Okay, so interesting cards here. I know I always say interesting, but it really is interesting. Like, I can't think of a better word. So actually, let me scoop those up a bit so that it would be better to see. Okay, here we go. And we have the Wheel of Fortune that came out in reverse, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Swords, with the 8 of Swords as the underlying energy. Sign-wise, we have Pisces and Sagittarius coming out with the Wheel of Fortune. We have Taurus with the 5 of Pentacles, Aquarius with the 6 of Swords, and Gemini with the 8 of Swords. So Aquarius is coming through quite heavily here. That may be a significant sign for you. I want to start off with the underlying energy. The 8 of Swords is telling me that this surprise is coming in order to move you along from something that you have been stuck in or bound by. Even though we are dealing with the Swords suit, which tends to usually indicate that these barriers that we feel boxed in by are coming from our own thoughts or our own mentality. It's like we are keeping ourselves stuck with the 8 of Swords energy. But for some reason, for you, pile number 2, I do feel like this is not just in your own head. Like, there have been really difficult situations and circumstances that you have had to endure, and possibly like physical restrictions or things not working out, and you feeling like you are just stuck in some place, or like even if you do try something, like it kind of just all falls to pieces, or things just don't work out the way that you have wanted them to. Like, I'm looking at this bull, which is very much like a Taurian archetype. And so it does feel like this is something that has been enduring, or something that maybe you have had to experience over and over again, something that has been on a loop, or something that has even become somewhat permanent or stable. And the reason why I also feel like these difficulties have not just been in your head is because of these two cards. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse and the Five of Pentacles. So clearly you have been going through the ringer. You have been enduring some more tough times, especially because the Five of Pentacles is talking about something material, physical, or maybe monetary, where you haven't felt secure physically, or there has been something missing, something lacking. With the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it can talk about feeling like life is against you, or like luck just isn't on your side. But this can simply also talk about things being slow, things not moving forward, and just having to endure this lack for a longer period of time where, you know, change just wasn't happening. And I feel like because of this, because of some sort of longer cycle that was a very tough lesson for you to go through, with the Six of Swords, it's clear that it's now time for you to move on from that and to start experiencing things going more smoothly again. The interesting thing is that there is a sun symbol on this guy's head. And so it does seem like, again, like there is something divine, or there is something cosmic about how things are supposed to be moving along now, or how you are meant to be catching a break after a period of tough and testing times. And I also love that we are getting the sun symbol here, because again, it feels like the sun is starting to shine on you, or like you are moving towards the light, or things just becoming a bit easier for you. And so that's why I feel that the universe is starting to like step in and help you. Again, I feel, first off, I just feel like it's time. Like it's almost like this like divine order of things, that you have been in this fall and winter season of your life for long enough, and now it's time for you to step into the spring and summertime. But I also feel like there is something, sorry, I'm just jumping back to this card here. I also feel like there is something about you aligning to your true purpose now, or there is something, again, that you are aligning to this very pure and true thing for you, and that's why you are being aided forward. Maybe that is the reason why you were kind of kept stuck, or like why things weren't working out for you, so that you wouldn't be able to invest or choose the things that weren't right for you, so that you would be led to this thing that is very aligned with you, you know? So maybe that's why your previous endeavors have been difficult, or why they haven't worked out. Again, thinking of like the relationship example, right? Let's say that you have been dating around, or you have been, you know, in previous relationships, and none of them have really led anywhere, or they haven't succeeded. They haven't taken you to where you ultimately want to be in your life. And I feel like the reason why was that you maybe weren't ready, or you were supposed to go through some of these more difficult lessons, or these tough lessons that have made you the person that you are today. And that it kind of sounds a bit perverse maybe, but I feel like you were being prepared, or being got ready for this person that you are meant to be with. And I also feel like because of the tough times, or because of the tough journey, you are now so much more appreciative and so much more careful, and like truly putting in effort in order for this thing to succeed. And again, right, this relationship thing is just an example, but it feels like such a good example to use, so that's why I keep coming back to it. But anyway, yeah, that is really the purpose, because you are aligned now. Let's move on though. Let's keep this reading going. So this next part, I have to give a disclaimer. Please take this with a grain of salt, or simply as a fun part of the reading, because I mean, all of my readings are meant to be fun anyway, or not to be taken too seriously, I mean, but this part specifically, because we're going to look at when this surprise may be coming in for you. And this timing part of the reading is especially only for fun, because timing is a very tricky thing. It's very easy to get wrong. And so I don't want you guys to get too attached to whatever is coming through from these messages. So let's see. Just for fun, when might this surprise come in for you? Okay, we are getting two cards yet again. But I'm not going to turn them over because I want to start off with the underlying energy, which says divine timing. Stay in the flow and trust that the timing is perfect. Trust, believe, have faith. Yeah, as I said, it's making me chuckle because, again, it seems to coincide with the whole notion that the universe is playing a part in this, that there is something very much like soul aligned or divine about this whole thing, you know, with all of these major arcana cards. That's what I truly believe. Okay, we have manifesting. Sit still and move the universe around you. Visualize, attract, mindset. This is the first card that is coming out here. So yeah, it seems like the universe is encouraging you to like keep staying focused and visualizing the ultimate goal here, which I feel like you are doing. And in doing so, you seem to be helping this process along. But we also have March. Come out of hibernation and embrace new energy. Growth, awakening, rebirth. So maybe springtime, March time, maybe specifically significant for some of you. Again, this is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to watch it, you know, these messages will find you when you are ready to hear them. But yeah, again, don't get too stuck in this part, okay? And let's close the reading out with some oracle cards from Spirit. So this is going to be the last sort of support or guidance from Spirit for you. So let's see what they want you to know. Okay, you are getting so many cards, but we are taking all of them. So the first card out is opportunity. I feel like Spirit is saying that there are going to be opportunities for you to grab hold of. And I almost feel like this is just Spirit saying not to worry. Because obviously there was an energy of worrying coming through from the initial part especially. But yeah, I feel like Spirit is just saying that there's really nothing to worry about. We also have the card of change coming out. So clearly taking me back to that death card energy. And I do feel that Spirit is simply saying that, you know, things are changing and you are moving from one cycle of life to the next. And I also love that on this card, the how should I say, the energy that this horse is moving away from is one that is much more in like these bluish and dark hues, and clearly they are moving towards, again, the sunlight. Yeah, which is just so funny to me that we're getting this sort of confirmation again, because this sun symbol on this Six of Swords felt really, really significant for some reason. Okay, we also have embracing. I do get a sense that this whole process and this whole journey may be somewhat of an emotional roller coaster for you, or like you could get a bit overwhelmed at times, or it may bring about certain emotions in you that you haven't felt before, or that just may be a bit uncomfortable to experience, especially if you haven't experienced those sort of emotions in a while. But I do feel like it's part of the beauty of the journey, I want to say. And oh my God, look at this. The last card here is enlightenment, which is the sort of energy that was coming through before as well. The whole energy with this forest type card here. Honestly, the only thing that I'm feeling here is that you will understand what all of this difficulty and lack and challenge was for by the end of it. I feel like you are going to realize and have this enlightenment moment when all of this just aligns perfectly. I feel like that's when you will know what all of this was for. Yeah. That's really what I'm feeling here. At the bottom of the deck, we have flow. And so, yeah, I just feel like, first off, this is Spirit saying that things are starting to flow and like move along much more effortlessly. It's not going to be as much of a struggle for you. But I also feel that Spirit is asking you to go with the flow and to trust this process that you are in, to keep going, and to allow yourself to be guided to what is meant to take place for you, what you are meant to experience. So, oh my goodness, pile number 2. This was such an exciting reading. I mean, there were so many emotions coming through, and I hope that this was interesting for you to watch as well. Hopefully you got something useful from this. If, by the way, you are still here, leave me a hot air balloon emoji in the comment section so that I would know that you are still here. I don't know, actually, I just thought maybe a hot air balloon emoji doesn't exist. If that's the case, you can just leave me a balloon emoji. whatever works, right? Anyway, I would love to see you in the comment section and connect with you there. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And as always, I hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, more insights, and more fun. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello and welcome to your reading pile number 3. My name is Helen, and I am so happy that you have chosen to watch this reading and spend this time with me. So thank you so much for being here, and also thank you for any support that you have shown me on this channel. But I'm not going to waste your time with any more of the introductory parts, so let's get straight to the card that you chose, because I want to see what I'm picking up on it intuitively. Now, pile 3, you chose the Secrets card. And the thing that I'm feeling here is that at this time, you seem to have access to certain information that not everyone is privy to. Maybe you are in a position where other people are opening up to you and sharing some really vulnerable, personal, embarrassing things with you. But I feel like it's not something that you have necessarily asked for, or that you have wanted to be put in this situation. It seems, actually more than anything, that it's getting a bit tiresome for you, or it's starting to wear on you. Like all of this information that you have to keep private and keep to yourself. But for some reason, I feel like people keep coming to you and talking about like all of these situations, all of these dramas, all of these issues and problems that have nothing to do with you, or that don't actually affect you in any single way. Maybe that's why they are coming to you, because you are this neutral party and it feels like they can dump their stuff on you. I do feel like even though you don't have any intentions of exposing those things or sharing those secrets that people have shared with you, you do seem to be kind of fed up with it. And I also feel it's kind of interesting that there is this young girl on this card here. And it does seem like there may be, or you may be feeling a bit helpless, or maybe some sort of wound or aspect of you is being activated or triggered by it, where you feel like a small child again, or you feel like you are put in this weird position and you don't quite know how to get out of it. You don't quite know how to handle the situation so that you wouldn't piss people off, or that you wouldn't alienate people, that you wouldn't cause conflict or drama yourself, or get pulled into some things that you don't actually want to get pulled into. I feel like you don't really want to get in the middle of this confrontational energy, but I also feel like you don't want to carry all of this stuff that is not actually yours to carry. So it does feel like a bit of a difficult situation for you to be in. And I almost feel like I feel like a certain level of anxiousness coming through again, where you are having to, how should I say, manage yourself very closely, or watch yourself closely, so that you wouldn't accidentally spill something that you are not supposed to know, or reveal anything about anyone or any of these secrets. But I'm just looking at this little stool that she's standing on, and it feels like there is not that much room for error. And so you seem to be not necessarily terrified, but just anxious or stressed out. Maybe some of you are even having difficulty with sleeping because of some sort of information that you are sitting on and that you are supposed to just sit on. But there is something something very like delicate about it, or like if it were to come out, it would possibly have huge repercussions. Because again, I feel like you are almost stuck between a rock and a hard place, where you are supposed to like be someone's confidant or not betray their trust. But then also I feel like the thing that you know is affecting someone else that you care about as well. Maybe this is more of a specific message. It might not resonate for a lot of you, but it feels like whatever this information is that you have about someone else that you care about, like if you were to tell them, you would be betraying the other friend who told you, or this other person. But if you don't tell them and then it comes out and this person finds out that you knew about it all along, you could get stuck in a very difficult or compromising situation with this other person, and like your relationship could suffer because of that. So it almost feels like, again, you are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like you don't know what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to act. Anyway, again, this is just the intuitive part though. If you are still a bit unsure whether this is your pile or not, then stick around for these oracle card messages, because these are going to tell us what it is that you are most focused on right now. Hopefully it will be a lot easier for you to distinguish whether this is your pile or not. Okay. Again, I am chuckling because of how spot on some of these cards are. It's just funny. Anyway, we have an intuitive card coming out first. We also have elk. Be open to receiving. Turtle. And another intuitive card. Okay. I'm going to start off with the first card here because that was the one that made me chuckle the most. This card in essence is talking about friendship or camaraderie or being supported and being helped. And I do feel like you are the turtle here. Oh my goodness, we have the turtle card here. Sorry, I just put 2 and 2 together. I didn't even like make that connection at first, but clearly you are the turtle in this instance, and you seem to be offering support, or yeah, like you are helping someone else out over here. Now, this turtle card in itself is making me feel like you are trying to focus on just sort of going with the flow and like not rocking the boat. I feel like, because I mean, the turtle itself is an energy of like going through all of these different experiences and then having all of these stories to tell. And I find it so funny that, I mean, we have been talking about you having access to all of these stories, but I do feel like you are obviously not able to tell them. We have this emojis card coming out here too, and I do feel like this is talking about this overwhelm that you seem to be feeling, where I feel like you have all of these conflicting emotions about it. On the one hand, it does feel like a bit of an ego boost to you, that people are trusting you with these things, that they feel comfortable enough coming to you and opening up to you specifically. So it does make you feel good in one aspect, I feel. But on the other hand, again, it feels like you are having to deal with all of these negative emotions as well, and all of this negativity that people are dumping on you without you having any sort of outlet for them really. And you're just having to like kind of carry them with you. That seems to be the part that is most overwhelming for you. But like this L card here though is talking about the maturity that you seem to be possessing, because I don't know, it just feels like you are being perceived as this elk energy by other people. The elk is a very strong masculine force. Again, it's very mature, it's very rooted and grounded, it's stable, it's protective, and it's that sort of energy that people gravitate towards because it feels like they can rely on the elk. It feels like the elk knows what to do. That may be also some of the things that people are coming to you for, because, you know, maybe, especially with this be open to receiving, maybe people are asking you for your advice, or they are wanting you to chime in and participate in their little dramas in that sense. That may be a thing as well for some of you. Truly, it just feels like you are being bombarded with all of this information, and you are trying to hold it together. You're trying to keep it together. And I feel like, again, you are trying to do the right thing here with this Elk card. You're trying to do right by everyone, but it does feel like it's extremely difficult to do. And I also feel with both of these cards that, you know, you don't want to come off as mean or self-serving or indifferent or like any of those things. You seem to be very focused on like helping people or, you know, doing what you can to be there for them. I don't know, especially this be open to receiving card is making me feel that you may be a very empathetic person, or, you know, someone who is actually a very good friend and who is there in times of need. But again, it's like there is I don't know, there's something about things kind of going a bit too far, and you, like, again, struggling to keep it all together, struggling to figure out or understand what the right thing is. It feels like the lines are getting blurry here, and maybe even, again, your own sense of right and wrong, your own conscience. There's so much at play here, which makes this a really delicate and complex situation. And I feel like that's also why you are clearly struggling. But anyway, this is what was coming through from these oracle cards. If you understand exactly what this is talking about for you, if you resonate with this, then stick around for these tarot cards, because we're now going to look at the next surprise. So we're going to get to the juicy parts. So what is the next positive surprise that life has in store for you? Okay. Cards coming out are the King of Wands. We have the Star that came out in reverse, and the Six of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands as the underlying energy. I'm going to point out some of the zodiac signs that are coming through here as well, in case you resonate with them or you recognize them around you. We have Leo coming out very strongly with the King of Wands. We also have Aquarius with the Star. We have Taurus with the Six of Pentacles, and we have Sagittarius with the Eight of Wands. I want to start off with the underlying energy, which is the Eight of Wands. And this is talking about communication and things starting to move along in a rapid pace, because I mean, it just feels like things are starting to move out of this locked in or standstill energy where, like, you are constantly bombarded with this information, but that there is no outlet for that information. Now, the King of Wands is coming out as the first card, and for some reason, I don't feel that this is your energy. This, regardless of gender, is coming through as someone who has a lot of confidence and courage to step up and set something straight. Now, I don't know who this person is specifically, but I feel like with the Star card in reverse, that there is something that they seem to be like revealing or opening up about. So it almost feels like they are taking the pressure off of you. Maybe they are owning up to something, maybe they are confessing to something, maybe they are just expressing themselves a lot more clearly to, again, whoever this other person is that is involved. Because I do feel like there are several people that are involved in this energy that you are involved in, and these other energies seem to be somehow tied to one another or tied to each other, and you sort of seem to be stuck in the middle of that. Hopefully that is, like, I made that really clear. And so I feel like the King of Wands is one of these people who is involved in that situation, and they seem to be sort of like coming out with something, or again, I don't know why, but I feel revealing with the Star coming out in reverse. Like they may be opening up about something that they previously didn't want anyone to know. It almost feels like when the time is right, that they are going to be sharing something and kind of like gathering up the courage to do so. And I feel like with the Six of Pentacles, in doing so, it's almost like they are taking the pressure off of you and helping you out in the situation. So you are almost taken out of the heat, or they are stepping up to the task. Or, you know, even if this King of Wands is not the person who is involved in these situations, maybe this is a completely other person, outside of the situation who somehow like decides to stand up and say something. But regardless, it just seems like you are definitely getting some assistance here with the Six of Pentacles. Someone is sharing something and it is offering you relief is kind of what I feel like. And because it seems like, because this situation seems to resolve without you having to get mixed up in it, it feels like you are not going to be put in this compromised situation. It's like things are starting to, again, with this Eight of Wands energy, things are starting to move along on their own accord. And I feel like the truth will out, I want to say. But I also feel, especially with the Six of Pentacles, that it is going to be coming out in a way that has you being able to maintain your relationships with like all of the parties involved. So, okay, my camera just stopped recording. So I don't know, I think it overheated or something. So I have no idea how long I will be able to film for. But anyway, just to quickly close out the last message, because I'm not sure how much it captured. It does feel like you are not going to be falling out with anyone. Like that was the last message that I really wanted to say. So let's move on, and hopefully my camera will hang in there. Let's move on to, why is this surprise coming in for you? What is the purpose of this surprise in your life? Okay. Well, we are getting some repeat cards here, but anyway, we have the Two of Swords coming out in reverse, the Knight of Swords, and the Death card, with the Four of Cups as the underlying energy. Sign wise, we have Libra with the Two of Swords. We also have Gemini with the Knight of Swords, Scorpio with the Death card, and Cancer with the Four of Cups. So pile number 3, I feel a very concrete message coming through over here. Now, actually, I'm going to start with these two cards. The Two of Swords and the Knight of Swords is saying that there has been an energy of not knowing how to protect or establish your boundaries, possibly allowing people to overstep certain personal limits that you have. And with the Death card, this is a very clear message that Spirit deems that it is now time for that to change. It's time to break those patterns and come out of that energy where, if this card would focus, where you are allowing that to happen, where you are not wanting to, again, rock the boat, not wanting to say anything that may ruffle some feathers. The Death card is, it may be a scary card, but it's actually the card that heralds change. Like that's really as simple as it is, because it's indicating that something has to go, something has outlived its purpose. And I feel like, because again, we have two of these swords cards coming out over here, it feels like it has to do with how you express yourself, how you vocalize your needs, your wants, your desires, and also, again, your boundaries. Because the Knight of Swords is really, on the one hand, I feel like this Knight of Swords is talking about the way that other people are sort of just almost running you over with their own issues, their own problems, the things that are on their minds the most heavily. And on the other hand, I feel like this Knight of Swords is simply like this aspect of you that obviously you do feel this level of frustration, or you do feel this level of overwhelm. But with the Two of Swords, it feels like you have potentially had some real difficulty with actually expressing that, actually making those desires in you known. And again, with the underlying energy, with the Four of Cups, your own emotional state has started to suffer because of it. Maybe even the quality of your relationships as well, because you feel unfulfilled by them, or you feel overwhelmed by them. You maybe even feel like your own needs are not being heard or acknowledged or respected. And obviously, because, you know, if you haven't really shared them, it's really difficult to respect them, because I feel like people just don't know where those boundaries or limits are for you. So I almost feel like you are more so angry at yourself than anyone else. But just this level of like frustration, or again, feeling overwhelmed, feeling tired, feeling worn out is kind of what this Four of Cups is telling me. And I feel like that is the sort of state that you are meant to come out of now. That is something that has to change. And so I feel like this situation, even though it's going to be resolved, where you don't really have to get involved with all of this drama, and I feel like it's almost like you are going to be helped out of that situation, but it does seem to bring about something. I feel like this King of Wands person is going to inspire you to have more courage to step out and say the uncomfortable thing, or to make your needs heard or your wants more clear to everyone. I feel like this person is going to inspire you in that sense, and that seems to be something that starts bringing about this change in you and in how you conduct yourself and how you express yourself in your own relationships as well. Now, let's move on to this next part, which is all about the timing. So this part specifically is meant to be taken with a grain of salt and simply for fun, because timing is a very tricky thing. I always have to put that disclaimer out there. I only do these timing messages just for fun, just to see what comes out, but please don't take this too seriously. It may resonate for some of you, it may completely fall flat for others of you, but let's see, when will this surprise possibly be coming in for you? Wow, okay, oh, that is interesting. We have very continuous time frames here. The card that you got is Pisces time, February 19th to March 20th. Feel when the time is right. Intuitive, creative emotions. So it does seem like the Pisces season, so February and March, those 2 months may be significant when things sort of start coming out or being revealed. But we also have Aries time as the underlying energy, which says March 21st to April 19th. Go after what you want. Energetic, passionate, bold. So I kind of feel interesting about this, because it may just mean that, again, with this Pisces time, this may be when that support comes in, or when this other person decides to open up about something that has been heavy on them, or relieve that tension within themselves as well and within this whole situation. And then with this Aries time, this may be talking about when you sort of become inspired as well to step more into your own power and start establishing your own needs, because I mean, Aries, after all, is the archetype of the self, the ego, right? So just, I don't know, I just find it funny that that's how it's coming out. But anyway, let's close the reading out with a few last supportive or guiding messages from Spirit. So let's see what Spirit wants you to know. Whoa. Okay. We have, solitude coming out first. I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying that you do need some time on your own, some time to clear out your mind, to get rid of these energies that you seem to be bombarded by, and just have some recharge time, just time for yourself. So that seems to be something that may truly help you in dealing with this overwhelm as well. But let's see, we also have delight. I don't know, this just feels like a message of finding time to do things that bring you delight, finding time to just, you know, spend time in the more high quality or high vibrational energy, I should say, where you feel yourself being uplifted and where you can have like this soul food type energy, right? Just doing things that make you feel good. That seems to be helpful here too. And the last card that you have is focus. And I just feel like this message is encouraging you to stay focused on what truly matters, like how the mountaintop is being highlighted here. It feels like there is something that is more important than all of the rest. And I feel like you know that. So it just feels like in the midst of all of this chaos or drama, or like all of these emotions and tense energies, I feel like Spirit really wants you to stay focused on on the most important things here, to not lose sight of that. And at the bottom of the deck, we have patience. So yeah, I feel like patience is coming out as, first off, a reminder to stay patient with how things are unfolding, because again, I feel like things are unfolding in a specific way to help you through this difficult or complex dynamic that you are in, but also patience with yourself as you are starting to learn or adopt these methods of asserting your boundaries and making your wishes or desires heard, standing up for yourself more and all of that, because obviously it's going to be a process. It's not going to just happen overnight. And that may be a place where patience is also required. But pile number 3, oh my goodness, I think we made it. I think my camera held in there. So I'm going to quickly wrap this reading up. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for being here. By the way, if you are still here, please leave me a turtle emoji, because obviously very important message here. Leave me a little turtle emoji so that I would know that you watched this thing all the way through, that this reading spoke to you, and that you got something useful from this. But as always, I hope to see you back on this channel next Friday for some more messages, insights, and fun. In the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.